Scientists are doing something crazy. They want to bring a woolly mammoth that died 30,000 years ago back to life in 2030. The method is to extract complete cell nuclei from its frozen body and implant them into an Asian elephant's egg. Then, after 22 months, they will witness a 6-ton prehistoric giant being born in the 21st century. But what's even stranger is that when scientists dissect the frozen mammoths, they find that the grass in their stomachs hasn't fully digested, and their muscle tissue still retains elasticity as if they just died a few hours ago. What does this mean? They didn't have time to rot when they died. They were rapidly frozen into meat cans. What killed them was a sudden super disaster. 10,000 years ago, the Earth suddenly began to warm. The super air conditioning of the Ice Age was turned off, and temperatures soared every year. The permafrost that the woolly mammoths relied on for survival was melting at a visible rate, replaced by dense forests. But the real threat wasn't the environment. It was a two-legged animal, humans. They drove mammoths off cliffs with torches, trapped calves, and pierced their bellies with spears, waiting for these giants to bleed to death. Archaeologists found dense cutting marks on mammoth bones. That was evidence left by humans using stone tools to strip meat. In front of humans, a 6-ton woolly mammoth was like a lamb to the slaughter. But the most bizarre story happened on a remote island. 10,000 years ago, sea levels suddenly rose, isolating Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean from the mainland. On that island were the last 8 woolly mammoths. No one could have imagined that these 8 mammoths lived for 6,000 years. In 2024, the journal Cell published a shocking study where scientists sequenced the genes of 21 woolly mammoths and discovered an astonishing truth. The woolly mammoths of Wrangel Island had multiplied from 8 to 300 within 20 generations. Then they maintained that number for a full 6,000 years. Even crazier, they should have died from inbreeding, genetic collapse, and collective extinction. But scientists found that the genes of these woolly mammoths were actually self-repairing. Those lethal, harmful mutations were being eliminated from generation to generation. If there were no accidents, they could have continued to live on until today. What was the accident? No one knows. Some say it was extreme weather. A torrential rain turned the ground into an ice layer, and the woolly mammoths couldn't find food and starved to death within weeks. Others say it was a disease. A deadly virus suddenly broke out. In a population without immunity, it spread wildly. Some say it was humans. Although archaeological evidence shows that humans arrived on Wrangel Island 400 years after the extinction of the woolly mammoths, it cannot be ruled out that a small group of people arrived early, killed the last giants, and left no trace. Whatever the truth is, by 1650 BC, the last woolly mammoth had fallen. By then, the Egyptian pyramids had already been built for 1,000 years. The oracle bones of the Shang dynasty in China had been inscribed on turtle shells, and the Code of Hammurabi had been promulgated. But the last woolly mammoth on Earth had just closed its eyes. And now, the woolly mammoth is coming back. In the permafrost of Siberia, scientists have unearthed well-preserved remains. In 2013, they even found liquid blood in one of the remains. At -10 degrees, the blood had not coagulated and was still flowing. There are natural antifreeze agents, and more importantly, there is complete DNA. An American company called Colossal saw hope. The method sounds like science fiction, extracting woolly mammoth DNA from the permafrost and using CRISPR gene editing technology to implant key genes into Asian elephant embryos. The genetic similarity between woolly mammoths and Asian elephants is as high as 99.6%. By changing about 1.4 million base pairs, Asian elephants can grow woolly mammoth traits. It sounds like a lot, but it's worth noting that humans and chimpanzees differ by only 1.2%, yet we are completely different species. In March 2025, Colossal announced a breakthrough. They created long-haired mice by gene editing, allowing the mice to grow long, woolly mammoth hair, which is 3 times longer than that of ordinary mice, in a golden brown, curly, and fluffy texture. What does this prove? It proves that genes that have been dead for 30,000 years can be revived in living animals. Now, they have completed editing 25 genes with a goal of 85. By 2026, they aim to complete the embryo, and in 2030, the first woolly mammoth will open its eyes. And now, we want to bring them back, not for atonement, but because we need them. The Arctic is melting, locking away 1 trillion tons of carbon. Once released, the Earth's temperature will spiral out of control. The woolly mammoth was once the guardian of the tundra. They trampled the ground, knocked down trees, and helped keep the Earth frozen. Their disappearance released the Earth's safety belt. Their return may be humanity's last chance.